So the NBA's gambling problem just got worse. Uh-oh. NBA gambling by Swish County? Let's go.
Listen to me, guys. Clip this.
人の夢は終わらねえ
Thursday that suspicious gambling activity surrounding guard Terry Rozier in a game nearly 2 years ago is now being investigated by federal prosecutors as a part of the same probe that led to the lifetime ban of former Raptors player Jontay Porter. Now, at the time, Rozier was playing for the Hornets. The Wall Street Journal, they first reported the investigation, and NBA spokesperson Mike Bass said in a statement, quote, "In March 2023, the NBA was alerted to unusual betting activity related to Terry Rozier's performance in a game between Charlotte and New Orleans. The league conducted..."
Oh god, it's happening again. About a year after the bombshell Jontay Porter news, Scary Terry Rozier is officially under investigation by the feds under suspicion of manipulating his play to hit prop bets. I mean,
Uh-oh.
we've been here before. You guys know how this stuff goes. And with the information we have, Terry Rozier could be in a world of trouble. Now, this case is not new and has been known about for quite some time. In fact, the NBA did their own investigation into the case already and deemed that Rozier had not broken any league rules. But fast forward nearly 2 years later, and the feds are investigating his ass, and to be honest, this looks really suspicious. Now, the game in question came on March 23rd, 2023, which happened to be the final game of Rozier's season. I mean, this was a pretty uneventful night. The Hornets sucked, the Pelicans sucked, and the two were facing off in the Battle of the Mid. But at 2 p.m. that day, the betting lines were pulled for Terry Rozier. Now, this isn't necessarily unusual, but let me explain to you why in this case it is. To avoid getting cooked by underbets, sports betting companies often pull the ability to bet on a player's performance that night, either in the case of potential injuries reoccurring or irregular betting patterns that may get caught on the radar of one of these nerds that are monitoring these sportsbook trends. In Terry's case, there was zero injury concerns. He had played and started in the last 13 games while averaging 36 minutes played. The lines were never brought back up, and just 9 minutes into the game, Terry Rozier had checked out with an injury. This certainly set off some red flags as the NBA conducted their own investigation despite finding no wrongdoing. And at the time, there was some buzz that certainly something was off here. Calling Our Shot runs a Sports Picks channel here on YouTube and took to Twitter to say the following the night of the injury. This is fishy. Rozier had his lines taken down around 2 p.m. No notice of an injury or anything wrong all day long.
Listen, bro, they will catch your ass, especially about money. Huh. They will catch your ass.
Lines never came back up. Then, he only plays in one quarter and exits with an injury. I'll take my L, but this one doesn't feel right. Now, I have to agree with him here. Although not quite as egregious, there are certainly some similarities to what we saw from Jontay Porter, while being 1 year before his actions and punishment. On multiple occasions, Porter would be seen seemingly avoiding rebounds, and even worse, checking out of games early with fake injuries and illnesses to avoid hitting his betting lines, after previously having agreed to avoid these markers prior, as proven over his Telegram logs with multiple bettors. Now, Terry Rozier has made over $110 million in the NBA, and is only getting richer, getting $26 million from the Miami Heat this season.
Yup.
Despite being over 30 and kind of sucking ass at this point. I mean, Jesus Christ, did the Miami Heat need any more drama this year? Which is kind of irrelevant, but kind of important, in that compared to Jontay Porter, Terry Rozier is going to be significantly harder to buy with just a few $100,000 to a couple $1 million. Now, after the game, FanDuel had refused to refund any and all bets, as shown in this conversation with a support agent, stating that given he played 10 minutes, the bets would not be eligible to be voided. There were certainly some people who cashed out, and one that's going viral right now is Greg Ehrenberg, who tweeted, "At least I was in on it today. Got lucky that I was fed some inside info that Rozier was leaving in the first or second quarter, depending on game flow and live lines, so that his unders would hit." Under a tweet, a commenter stated, "I'm not going to say shit is rigged, but lately, NBA has been mad sus," before Greg commented back, "Follow the right people to know when guys are leaving games early with injuries." Now, before you guys take this and run with it, let's use a little bit of critical thinking here. This guy who sells picks for a living has insider information apparently, and places a $120 bet on Terry Rozier with less than 2-to-1 odds. On the contrary, Jontay Porter was receiving $80,000 bets with fucking 12-to-1 odds. I mean, this Greg guy is trying to sell his picks like gold for a living, which I don't necessarily give two shits if he does, but if this tweet isn't a joke, which it very well might be, coming out like he has some sort of insider information when a
I like the honesty that we just don't care. We just want to watch the video. We don't care, bro.
conspiracy like this is going on in gambling circles is a pretty damn good marketing gimmick, I have to give it to him. Now, if this guy Greg actually had some sort of insider information and fucking tweeted about it, I hope they double his prison sentence and then deport him to Afghanistan for admitting to felonies to sell his $10 parlays. But the deeper you dig into the Terry Rozier situation, the more it looks like this wasn't exactly just about $100 bets. According to the Wall Street Journal, Terry Rozier's March 23rd game had been flagged from the same gambling ring that 1 year later would be wrapped up for the Jontay Porter situation. Okay, this is getting weirder now. Like I said
Jontay Porter and Terry Rozier, okay.
before, these guys were throwing 80 bands on Jontay Porter unders to cash out to the tune of over $1 million before the betting was halted. I'm not sure exactly what kind of money was placed on Terry Rozier, as this story is still very breaking, but I don't think it'll be too long before we find out more from those who have already been convicted with the Jontay Porter ring if this is really what the investigators are skeptical of. Now, the NBA certainly is not a fan of this stuff, as it completely puts the reputation of their brand in jeopardy, and as of right now, has only come out to say, in March 2023, the NBA was alerted to unusual betting activity related to Terry Rozier's performance in a game between Charlotte and New Orleans. The league conducted an investigation and did not find a violation of NBA rules. We are now aware of an investigation by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York related to the matter, and have been cooperating with that investigation. When Tim Donaghy was in bed with the fucking mob, it was just one bad apple. When it was Jontay Porter, it was just one brother of a star that probably shouldn't have been in the league that got hooked on a dangerous hobby. But if this proves to be unlawful, the NBA is going to be in some real hot water with 2 gambling bans within the span of 1 year.
World we live in now, right? Like, these leagues are in bed with the betting companies, so is our company. And so they're inclined to deny to prove the game is clean. And then if you find a bad actor, they're inclined to throw the book at it again to prove that they are clean. I just feel like there's so much sketchy in this situation where you don't get a federal investigation, a story in a reputable newspaper like the Wall Street Journal, or a name attached, whether there's some meat to the bone. And in this case, I feel like there's some sketchy details here. The fact that this happened in a late March game for a lost season for the Charlotte Hornets, where they clearly were probably tanking for a better draft pick. The fact that this happened when sportsbooks allegedly pulled him from prop bets because there was some unusual activity around it. So what I think we all deserve right now from the NBA is a ton of transparency of exactly what their investigation revealed and how we ended up to this point. I'm just not sure.
Now again, Terry Rozier has not been charged or accused of any crimes, and I'm not doing that at all either. What I am accusing is that for a player's lines to be pulled midday with no injury concerns, just for him to go out there and play 10 minutes, then injure himself late in the season on a non-contending team on a non-contract year. This is far too suspicious to be ignored, and this is far from just an NBA problem. Authorities are scrutinizing as many as 7 college programs over allegations that players bet on their own games or attempted to manipulate game outcomes during the 23-24 season. The Eastern District of Pennsylvania's U.S. Attorney's Office is specifically investigating a Temple basketball game from March when the first half betting line shifted dramatically in favor of UAB after opening with UAB as a slight 1.5 point favorite. UAB went on to lead by 15 at halftime, and the betting activity was flagged as suspicious. Former Temple player Fab Miller, who was later dismissed from Virginia Tech for unspecified reasons, is now under investigation for his potential involvement. Authorities are also looking into a Loyola player, while a January game between Eastern Michigan and Central Michigan has drawn scrutiny for irregular betting patterns as well. I mean, Jontay Porter is going to jail. Any of these college kids who are likely pretty damn broke will likely serve some time as well if proven to be guilty. And now, a well over $100 million man has his face on every news station in America. We're in a sports gambling era at this point. This mega industry is not going away anytime soon. And if the NBA doesn't get a hold of this, this is going to cause more damage to their reputation than any other event in NBA history. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, make sure you subscribe if you're new. We're trying to hit 100
Yeah, betting companies, bro. Of course they make money. Of course they make money, bro. That is the stuff they want to do. But listen, peace, God bless. See you next videos, and don't get into gambling. Don't gamble your money. Save it, invest it, whatever. But don't get into the gambling business. Nope. See you guys next time. Peace, love, God bless, and see you next time.